Thanks, Gilbert, for the introduction. Thanks for having me. Today, I'll present GMIN Ventures and provide an update on our Tocantins project located in Brazil. So as Gilbert mentioned in the introduction, we are very busy constructing the Tocantins project in Brazil. We're actually in the final months of construction, with construction at 89% complete, and starting commissioning activities with the view of producing gold in the second half of the year. We're well financed to reach positive cash flow. And as Gilbert mentioned, we do have an owner's run by owners mentality where we're heavily invested in the company and looking to produce gold in the very near term for our shareholders. We've been building mines for other companies for several years as a consulting company, building IAMGOLD's Essakane mine, Newmont's Marion mine, and more recently, Lundin Gold's Fruta del Norte mine. So we created GMIN Ventures in October of 2020 with a view of building mines for ourselves and our shareholders. So since creating the company in October of 2020, we successfully acquired the Tocantins project in September of 2021. And since then, updated a feasibility study, put the mine in construction, and all that within the span of 2 years. So in the mining space, that's often a very significant challenge to get permits and financing in place to advance projects, which we've been successfully able to do. Our financing includes some very strong financial institutions, including Franco-Nevada, which provided $353 million of financing through a stream, term loan, and equity. And we have La Mancha and Eldorado that provided some equity as part of our project financing package. And CAT Financing provided some financing given all the mining fleet that we purchased for our project. So all in all, we put $481 million together to finance this project, which is now in the final stages of construction. For us, Brazil is a very attractive jurisdiction. It's a very important mining country. And where we are located in the state of Pará, we see many important mining companies such as Vale and other copper producers and gold miners as well. So this is a jurisdiction that really wants to attract mining investment and have very favorable government policies to attract that investment. So we will only be subject to a 1.5% royalty from the government, and we benefit from a very stable and transparent framework when it comes to permitting. The feasibility study that we updated in February of 2022 is really the game plan that we've been delivering on. So we've estimated a CapEx of $458 million, which we're still delivering against and looking to deliver on budget. The Tocantins project really consists of a simple operation with an open pit feeding a conventional process plant at a rate of 12,600 tons per day. And over the life of mine, we'll be producing on average 175,000 ounces a year at very attractive all-in sustaining costs in the bottom of the industry cost curve. The open pit benefits from a nice grade of 1.3 grams per ton and a very low strip ratio of 3.4 life of mine. And with this project, we are connected to the grid with a power line that we've constructed for the project. So this gives us access to cheap and clean renewable power for our project. When we produced our feasibility study, we had stopped our sensitivity table at $2,000 per ounce. But since then, the gold price has run significantly higher. So we've shown some sensitivities to up to 2,400, which shows an NPV for our project of 1.25 billion US. So very attractive valuation and returns that can be generated at these significant high gold prices. The Tocantinzinho deposit is fairly straightforward. Consists of a granite intrusion, very massive ore body that's about 150 to 200 meters thick. So we'll be mining this with a bulk mining approach with an owner mining fleet that's already been mobilized for this phase of the project. So we have 2 million ounces of reserves, and we'll be looking to add additional resources and reserves through continued exploration on the property. So as we stand, we've spent 433 million on the project as of the end of March, and reached really a total project progress of 87%. And this is after working 4.9 million hours on the project with very good safety performance. Currently, our workforce on the project stands at 1,678 people, which is down from a peak of over 2,200 we had back in August. So this gives you a view of the site after 19 months of progress. So essentially what you can see is all our balance of plant infrastructure, which includes truck shops, assay lab, offices, is all complete. And really the 3 remaining months of construction is really focused in the process plant area. Our primary crusher and ore reclaim are essentially complete now, and we're undergoing commissioning activities on these areas of the process plant. So we'll be crushing ore before the end of the month, testing this part of the process plant. Our grinding circuit, which consists of a SAG mill and ball mill, is progressing well. This was essentially part of our critical path to deliver the project on time. But this installation is really going according to plan, and we expect to be commissioning the grinding circuit during the month of May. Our assay lab has now been running for several months, so this allows us to do our grade control sampling on site to guide the mining of ore, which we're currently doing since November. So our mining operation has been really ongoing for over a year now. Basically, we've stripped a lot of the waste that was used for construction purposes. And since November, we've been mining ore, and we've reached a total of 1 million tons mined at 0.8 grams per ton, which is now giving us access to some better grade ore that we'll be able to feed in the initial months of commercial production. So our objective by the time we reach commercial production is to have stockpiled around 2.4 million tons of ore. Our tailings facilities are now complete as well, ready to receive tailings. We have 2 facilities, one for our flotation tails and one for our leach tails. So these are complete and ready for operations as we speak, and accumulating water that will be used to start the process plant. Our transmission line is complete, and we'll be looking to energize off the grid during the month of April this month. So this part of the project was completed ahead of schedule and on budget. And we've already secured a power purchase agreement to buy power for the next 2.5 years, which has been done at very favorable rates compared to our feasibility study. So our high-level schedule here shown here has us currently in commissioning activities. We'll be looking to start processing ore towards the end of the second quarter, going into the third quarter, with a view of reaching commercial production in the beginning of the third quarter. So on top of the asset that we've identified now and the reserve that we have, we've inherited an extremely large land package of 996 square kilometers that we intend to explore over the coming years. This year, we'll be conducting a 10,000 meter program to follow up on some of the geophysical interpretation that we've done last year and a lot of the soil sampling that we've collected on the remaining land package. So our objective is to really find additional deposits on this land package and expand the current resource around the Tocantinzinho pit. So quickly, in terms of our corporate overview, we're well financed with 51 million of cash. This is at the end of the year, with a term loan from Franco at the end of the year remaining to be drawn of 75 million, giving us full funds to complete our project. We do have some very important shareholders, including La Mancha, which is a 25% shareholder, followed by El Dorado, who we bought the project from at just under 18, and Franco-Nevada at 9.9, followed by insiders at 8%. So really our strategy to creating value is to be acquiring assets just before the development stage, where we can apply our expertise to developing projects and really re-rating the value of these projects through a good execution and bring them into commercial production. So this is the typical Lassonde curve, and our strategy here is really to be creating value in that last segment. Once a resource has been well defined and some studies have been completed, and that's where we try to pick it up and really create value for shareholders. So far this year, since September of 2022, we're up essentially 193% versus the gold index, which is about up 15%. So we've definitely been outperforming the indices based on our successful execution on the project. So obviously we've gone up in terms of our re-rate on the project and still feel that we have room to re-rate in the coming months as we get to first gold production. So that gives you a quick overview of our project and where we stand. And obviously you can reach us through our webpage and contact details if you have any further follow-up questions.
Great, LP. A few questions from the audience here. The first one here from Malik is asking you, when you become a producer, how will people value you? Is it by multiple of production profile or multiple profits that you can make? What's usually how people will value you?
Yeah, I think in the current gold price environment, a lot of investors are starting to value gold producers based on their cash flow, so cash flow multiples. So at these gold prices, we'll be generating over 200 million in free cash flow a year. So that's often a metric that will be used. And obviously, the typical analysts typically use a PNAV multiple to value projects and companies. So obviously, we're in the process of increasing our PNAV multiple as we become a producer in the coming months.
So what are the main reasons of why in the last 12 months your stock been performing quite well? What is it? Some of the key milestones, or just mitigating the risk of getting the project into the becoming production?
Yeah, I'd say that's essentially a big reason for the re-rate. Most development stage companies usually have hiccups in their development phase where they need to raise additional capital or have delays in delivering their project. So often that's very dilutive to shareholders when emergency financings are having to be put in place. So that's part of the reason. But obviously, I think the gold price has really moved up in the last 3 months. So we're definitely timing our project to be producing first gold in a very good gold price environment.
Yes, this question from Kieran is asking, what are your comparable peers right now in terms of your stage right now?
I'd say there's other development stage companies that are currently constructing, such as Artemis. There was, Marathon Gold that was bought out by Calibre. So I think there's, not that many companies in our position that are delivering on projects right now.
Okay, one last question, and will you be will G Mining need to add more people to the team when you become a producer?
Basically, we have all our operating team established. Our process plant team is currently mostly formed and participating in the commissioning activities of our process plant. So really, no, at this stage, we have a few people to add to the team, but all the key members are now hired and part of our.
Great. Yes. Okay. Thank you for answering all the questions here from the audience. Thank you for your time.
Gilbert.